If there is a deep subliminal nightmare all humans share, it is that deep dark tremor of watching our loved ones being taken from us in front of our own eyes. While we try to run harder and harder but just can't seem to move fast enough, our limbs turning to jelly. On the 4th of April 1991, this nightmare turned into a horrifying reality for 20-year-old Rob Shafer, as he was in hot pursuit of his girlfriend Angela Hammond's abductor. 10 miles in, however, his car broke down, and he had to watch Angela being torn away from him in a green Ford truck, kicking and screaming. What made Angela Hammond the target of this kidnapping? Did the police ever believe Rob's story? Was Angela ever seen again? We take a deep dive to find answers to all these questions and more. Things can turn harrowing very quickly for a woman. Submerged in constant subconscious dread, checking the back seat of their own car before getting in, constantly texting details to their loved ones in real time of anything shady they might sense, second-guessing drinks they have been offered, clutching their pepper sprays discreetly in their handbag. The list goes on, where women are constantly supposed to put restrictions on themselves for the sake of safety. And yet, even after doing everything right, it is often not enough. Clinton, Missouri, USA was supposed to be a safe, quiet place. With a population of just around 9,000, Clinton, a small farming town, boasted of a harmonious, tightly knit community. Born in 1971, Angela Hammond was a popular girl in town and had graduated from Montrose High School. Known to everyone as Angie, her family had lived in the town for 3 generations. In January 1991, she exchanged rings with Rob Shafer, who was a star athlete in high school and looked forward to a career in the military. At the time of the abduction, Angie was 4 months pregnant with Rob's child. On the 4th of April, Angie dropped Rob at his house around 10 p.m. after spending an evening together. She told him she was going to see her friend and would call him later in the night. They had plans to hang out again. Meanwhile, Rob had to be home watching his little brother. Around 11:15 p.m., as promised, Angie called Rob from a payphone in the town center. However, mid-conversation, Rob heard Angie's voice switch to one of deep caution. She said a green Ford pickup truck was circling the block while she was on call, and was now pulling up near the payphone. Rob, who had earlier tried to calm her concerns, now grew worried too. "What's the driver look like?" he asked. Angie told Rob that the man was kind of dirty looking, had a mustache, beard, and was wearing overalls. Rob heard Angela panic a little as she said the guy was coming towards the phones. Angela continued to show remarkable composure and laid out the details of the truck the man was driving. She said the truck was a late model green pickup truck, with one of those decals that covered the whole back window. For viewers who might be unfamiliar with the terminology, decals are one of those design stickers or murals that you can apply on surfaces. Angela continued to describe what the decal looked like, a description that has now become a haunting urban legend. She said it seemed like a lake scene from which a fish was coming out. The driver stepped into the adjacent payphone booth and then stepped out after checking the phone. He then went back to his truck and seemed to search for something with a flashlight. Angela suspected that maybe the payphone wasn't working and the man wanted to use the payphone she was on. Rob heard her call out, "Excuse me, do you need to use this phone?" When the driver said no, Angela got back to her call and eventually they were beginning to slip into a relaxed conversation. When suddenly, Rob heard Angela scream. Rob dashed down like a demon to his car, with the singular objective of getting to Angela and finding out what was going on. As Rob was charging up the street like a madman, he saw a pickup truck going past him. It was at that moment he heard Angie let out a bone-chilling scream, calling his name. She was being taken in that very pickup truck. "Robbie!" she screamed. Rob violently lurched in his truck in reverse and began his pursuit. He chased the truck through the downtown business district. He chased the truck for miles. However, their tragedy was soon to turn deafening. Ron was unaware that in his desperate, violent reversal of his car, the transmission was severely damaged. When the car's locked-in chase made a sharp right turn, the car's transmission finally gave out, and the car broke down. Rob lunged out in despair, stranded in the middle of the road, watching the love of his life and the mother of his unborn child being absorbed by the dark. All he saw, he says, was brake lights and dust. The news of the abduction sent shockwaves in the community the next morning. The police and hundreds of citizens launched an extensive land and air search, but there were no signs of Angela Hammond, the kidnapper, or the pickup truck. The police went into overdrive. Detective Parsons says he took assistance from the Missouri State Highway Patrol, who did an extensive database search with the truck's description. They had more than 1,000 possibilities. The key was the fish mural. A wide net was cast, but there was no success. Soon, the FBI was involved. When no witnesses were found to corroborate Rob's story of the night, he soon became a suspect himself. Rob and an ex-boyfriend of Angela, Bill Barker, were even made to take a polygraph test. They were questioned for hours separately. However, it was only seen as the natural course of things, and within a week both Rob and the ex-boyfriend were cleared of any suspicion. Angela's mother, Marcia Cook, agreed with the decision and said that while it was only natural that people would wonder if the boyfriend did it, she has known the kid all her life, and she never doubted even for a minute that he could have anything to do with it. A few days later, the police connected the case to 2 other unsolved cases of kidnapping within a 100-mile radius. On January 19, 1991, 42-year-old Trudy Darby was working alone in a convenience store in Max Creek and called her son to come pick her up because a stranger was lurking outside and making her increasingly nervous. By the time her son reached the store, it was deserted. 2 days later, her body was found on a riverbank 10 miles from the shore, shot in the head. The very next month, on the night of February 28th, 30-year-old Cheryl Ann Kenny went missing after closing at a convenience store in Nevada. Her car was found in the parking lot. For a while, fears of a serial killer on the loose in the Midwest loomed. However, nothing concrete ever materialized. Angela Hammond was never seen or heard of. In a surprising turn of events, on the unfortunate 30th anniversary of the missing persons case, the Clinton Police Department posted an update on their Facebook page, and a reminder that they had never stopped looking for answers. This was about a lead that had originated in the Lake of the Ozarks region in Missouri. In April of 1991, a confidential informant of the police was sent a terrifying, threatening letter. He had testified in court and was the key part of stopping a big illegal drug operation. Police say that the identity of the informant was revealed during the case, and he received a letter with cut-and-paste characters. The letter was sent on the 4th of April, 1991. The very same night, Angela Hammond was abducted. It looked like a ransom note from a movie or a TV show. A copy of the strange letter, which has been blacked out to preserve the privacy of the informant's identification number and the name of his wife, was included in the Facebook post. The letter clearly threatened the informant that they know who and where he is and will get what he deserves because soon they will pay a visit to his daughter. The informant's wife and his daughter, also named Angela, were living in Clinton, Missouri at that time. Investigators believed that the informant's daughter was taken as retaliation by a member or members of a criminal organization, but they made a mistake in identification. The police said some mistake was made as to the identity of the targeted Angie, who had some physical resemblance to Angela Hammond, resulting in Hammond's abduction. Regarding the Angela Hammond case, an anonymous caller left a message for the police. This is how the Clinton, Missouri Police Department concluded a Facebook post. That person specifically mentioned 2 names. "You did not provide a means for us to recontact you," said Clinton Police. "If that person is reading this message, please recontact us so that we can speak with you in real time. We will protect your identity or assure your anonymity." The situation is heartbreaking. Angela's boyfriend Rob had one more detail to share from the night of the abduction. He says while Angela was screaming and he heard the struggle on the phone, he could hear one more voice saying something. It was most likely the man in the green Ford pickup. The only thing he said was, "I didn't need to use the phone anyway." Rob shares what it was like to live with the events of the night. "The beginning is the hardest. You were close enough to get them, but you just didn't get the job done. And you still wake up at night wondering where she's at, wondering what happened, wondering if anybody's still looking. You just wonder all the time." We sincerely hope that some resolution is found to this case, providing everyone involved with a sense of closure. We continue to bring you stunning stories day in and day out. If you like what we do, please encourage us through your likes and comments. Please subscribe to hear more such stories in the future, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.